Is this how you apply concealer? We swipe it on, hoping to cover our spots, but instead we get a heavy, cakey texture that settles into fine lines. There is a better way. It's a makeup artist technique called micro-concealing, and it lets you get flawless-looking coverage using 90% less product. In this tutorial, I will guide you step by step through the tools, the product, and the technique to make your skin look like skin, only better. This heavy, caked-on look is the opposite of the radiant, confident finish we want. Traditional concealing methods use those large doe-foot applicators. They encourage you to apply thick layers over large areas of skin, like circles under the eyes or broad swipes across the cheek. This approach inevitably pools in fine lines and highlights texture. If you've ever felt like your makeup looks great inside but terrible once you step into sunlight, this technique is your fix. Micro-concealing flips that method entirely. It's about surgical precision. We are only covering the tiny dot of discoloration, not the healthy skin surrounding it. You get maximum coverage with minimal product. This is how you achieve that seamless, effortless, even tone. Micro-concealing relies on leaving 99% of your beautiful natural skin exposed. But to execute this precision, you have to ditch the usual tools. The right equipment is half the battle. Ready to see the little brush that changes everything? If you love finding smart, simple solutions for mature beauty, take a second to subscribe and hit the notification bell. You won't want to miss the practical hacks we share every week. Now let's talk about the enemy of micro-concealing, the standard wand. The standard concealer wand is the enemy of this technique. Why? It forces you to deposit too much product. Even when you scrape off the excess, the shape is too large for pinpoint work. It leads to accidental broad coverage. The first tool we need is a fine-tipped synthetic brush. Think of an eyeliner brush or a lip brush that hasn't been used for lipstick. It needs firm, densely packed bristles that come to a crisp point. This allows you to pick up only the necessary amount of product, often less than the size of a pinhead. Next, you need a warm palette. The back of your clean hand works perfectly. Never, ever apply the product straight from the tube to your face for this method. Squeeze or swipe a small dot of your chosen concealer onto the back of your hand. This serves two purposes. First, it allows the warmth of your skin to slightly soften and melt the product, making it far easier to blend. Second, it gives you a clean surface to gently load your tiny brush, ensuring you control every single fiber of the brush head. We are aiming for the smallest deposit possible. These two items, the fine brush and the warm palette, are non-negotiable for success. Mastering the tools is the secret to making the product perform. Now, let's look at the product itself. Micro-concealing works best with a different type of formula than the one you might use under your eyes. For dark spots, redness, or old acne scars, you need a high-pigment, slightly drier formula. These often come in small pots or tubes. A thick, hydrating concealer, while great for the delicate under-eye area, tends to move and slide off a dark spot throughout the day. We need something that adheres firmly and offers maximum opacity with a tiny amount. The goal is opaque camouflage, not hydration. So look for pot concealers or concentrated formulas advertised for blemishes and pigmentation. You also need to choose the right shade. This is where most people make a second big mistake. When covering a dark spot, you do not want a color lighter than your skin tone. Lighter shades will highlight the texture of the spot and can give the dark spot a ghostly grayish cast. Instead, you need a shade that perfectly matches your natural skin tone. If you are covering redness, a slightly peachy or golden undertone can help neutralize the red before you use your skin matching shade. For dark spots, stick to the exact tone of the surrounding healthy skin. This ensures the coverage is seamless and invisible. Once you have your high pigment pot concealer and your tiny precision brush, we move on to the preparation. Even the best technique will fail if the skin underneath is dry or flaky. Before you start, ensure your skin is properly prepped with a moisturizer. For mature skin, this step is vital. A well-moisturized base creates a smooth canvas, preventing the concentrated concealer from clinging to dry patches or settling into texture. Wait at least 5 minutes after applying moisturizer before you begin your micro-concealing process. This allows the skincare to fully absorb and settle. If the skin is still wet or slippery, the concealer will simply slide right off. You want the skin surface to feel nourished, but dry to the touch. Now we get to the core technique. The key is in the loading and the targeting. Remember that tiny dot of product you placed on the back of your hand? Gently dab your fine-tipped brush into that dot. You are aiming for just enough product to cover the tip of the brush head. No globs, no excess. Hold the brush like a pencil for maximum control. Locate the precise center of the dark spot or area of discoloration you wish to erase. This is where you stop guessing and start being deliberate. Do not swipe. Do not rub. We are painting a microscopic layer. Lightly dot the concealer only onto the center of the pigmented area. Think of it like a tiny bullseye. You are creating an opaque patch over the discoloration without touching the surrounding healthy skin. Why is this isolation so important? Because that surrounding skin is already perfect, and we don't want to add unnecessary product to it. This step takes patience, but it is the critical difference between the heavy mask and the flawless skin look. Once the product is deposited, put the brush down. Now we blend. This is the crucial moment where the coverage becomes invisible. Do not use the brush or a sponge for this. Use your ring finger. It applies the least pressure. The warmth of your finger is essential here, as it further melts the product into the skin. Begin tapping lightly and quickly, focusing your taps only on the outer edges of the concealer dot. This is the feather and tap technique. You are carefully feathering the edges of the opaque patch into the surrounding skin, leaving the center of the spot untouched and fully covered. As you tap, the product should seamlessly blend, creating a smooth transition. If you tap the center of the spot, you risk wiping away your coverage, which defeats the purpose. Focus entirely on blurring the edges. This process should take about 15 to 20 seconds of rapid, gentle tapping per spot until the edge disappears. Step back and check your work in natural light. Is the spot gone? Good. Is the texture still visible? If so, you may need a second, even smaller layer applied exactly the same way. What if you have a larger area of redness, like around the nose or cheeks? Do not treat it as one large spot. Instead, break it down into micro dots. Follow the same principle. Use the tiny brush to apply pinpoint dots of concealer only to the most pigmented areas within the zone. Then, use your finger to gently feather the edges of each tiny dot together. You are essentially building a microscopic grid of coverage across the redness, rather than laying down a thick blanket. This maintains the skin's natural texture and movement, keeping your complexion fresh and believable. Once you've achieved your desired seamless coverage, you need to set it. For mature skin, we must be extremely cautious with powder. Too much powder, especially under the eyes, can age the look instantly by magnifying fine lines. For micro-concealing, we only use a tiny amount of translucent setting powder, and only over the areas where the product was applied. Use a small, fluffy eyeshadow blending brush, not a large powder brush. Load the brush very lightly, tap off the excess, and gently press the powder over the concealed spots. This secures the product and prevents it from migrating or settling into creases throughout the day. It's an insurance policy, not a finishing layer. A key benefit of this technique is how it adapts to the unique needs of mature skin. Because you are using such a minimal amount of product, you avoid the common problem of makeup creasing and settling into wrinkles. Heavy foundation magnifies every line on your face. Micro-concealing allows the skin to move freely, preserving a youthful elasticity in the complexion. If you typically avoid makeup because it feels heavy or emphasizes texture, try this technique. It's light, undetectable, and truly skin-like. This method also works exceptionally well when covering age spots and sun damage. Remember, practice makes perfect. The first time you try this, it might feel slow or meticulous. But once you realize how little product you need and how much better the final result looks, you will never go back to swiping. Start by focusing on just your most stubborn dark spot. Perfect that one area. Then move to the next. We've covered the entire flawless process, from the right tools to the final setting step. The secret is always precision. Precision in the brush, precision in the shade match, and precision in the blending. This is the ultimate skill for achieving an even tone without the weight of heavy foundation. If this video has inspired you to try this technique, please hit the like button. This helps savvy seniors reach more amazing women looking for simple, actionable beauty solutions that actually work. Consistency and smart technique beat endless products every time. Now go try this micro-concealing trick and enjoy your radiant, confident skin. Consistency and smart technique beat endless products every time. Now go try this micro-concealing trick and enjoy your radiant, confident skin. Wait, did you think that was the end? We've given you the trick, but let's quickly address two common challenges that can derail this entire process, especially for mature skin. These adaptations are what separates a good technique from a perfect one. Challenge number 1, dry patches or flakiness around a dark spot. When skin cells turn over too quickly, or if your skin barrier is compromised, the spot might feel rough. If you try to micro-conceal over flaky skin, the pigment will cling disastrously, making the spot look more noticeable. The fix is a tiny, targeted application of a very simple occlusive balm the night before, or a hydrating primer applied only to that specific area before starting your routine. The key is microhydration for micro-concealing. Focus on treating the texture first. Challenge number 2. Break through redness or oiliness midday. You spent all that time perfecting the spot, and then by noon, it's visible again. If you have combination or oily or mature skin, the setting step needs a slight upgrade. Instead of just pressing the setting powder, try baking that tiny spot. Apply a slightly thicker layer of powder over the concealed area with a puff, let it sit for 2 minutes, and then lightly dust the excess away. This creates a durable shield that resists sebum and movement, locking the coverage in place for hours. This is especially useful in humid climates. Remember, achieving even tone isn't just about makeup, it's about confidence, and confidence comes from knowing you look effortless. This micro-concealing method ensures that the focus remains on your eyes, your smile, and your personality, not on heavy foundation or uneven skin. Embrace the less is more approach. Start experimenting today and watch your relationship with makeup change entirely. This truly is the cornerstone of looking naturally flawless. But what if you need a little overall brightening, not just spot treatment? You don't have to revert to full foundation. The micro-concealing principle can be applied to lightweight products too. Instead of heavy foundation, consider mixing a drop of your high pigment concealer with your favorite SPF or a sheer tinted moisturizer. This creates a custom sheer coverage product that can be applied quickly over the face. You get the benefit of evening out the general tone without the density of traditional foundation. Think of it as painting a very thin, veil-like layer across the skin. You're using the precision of the micro-concealing pigment, but thinning it out for speed. You can apply this sheer mix with a large, fluffy brush or even just your fingertips, focusing mainly on the center of the face where redness is often most prominent. The resulting look is incredibly fresh and allows your skin's natural luminescence to shine through. You still go back and use the true micro-concealing technique for any stubborn pinpoint spots. That's the magic 1-2 punch. Sheer coverage for the whole face and surgical precision for the few problem areas. It's a 2-minute routine that gives you the best of both worlds. Uniform color without the feel or look of heavy makeup. This dual approach respects the fact that mature skin needs less product overall, but benefits tremendously from targeted, high-performance pigment where it counts. Always remember, when it comes to makeup over 55, dilution and direction are your two best friends. Now, we focus heavily on the visual technique, but let's talk quickly about a common mistake that impacts the longevity of this work. It involves light. If you apply your micro-concealing in dim or yellow-toned bathroom lighting, you are setting yourself up for disappointment later. That artificial light is forgiving. It hides uneven blending and makes it difficult to judge the true color match. The secret to perfect blending is applying your makeup in the same lighting where you will spend most of your day. Ideally, this means sitting near a window with natural daylight. Natural light reveals every imperfection, which sounds scary, but it forces you to blend thoroughly. If your concealed spot looks invisible in direct daylight, it will look flawless everywhere else. If natural light isn't available, use a mirror surrounded by daylight-balanced LED bulbs. This bright white light mimics the sun and prevents the dreaded foundation line or the visible edge of your concealed spot. Make this lighting check a non-negotiable part of your routine. It saves you from that moment when you catch your reflection outside and realize your spot coverage is obvious. Another light-related point involves SPF. Even the best micro-concealing will be undermined if your foundation or setting powder contains heavy titanium dioxide or zinc oxide. While essential for sun protection, these ingredients can cause severe flashback in photos or under harsh camera light. If you know you'll be photographed or under very bright indoor lighting, make sure your SPF and makeup layers are completely absorbed before applying the concealer. Use non-mineral sunscreens under your makeup if flashback is a major concern for you, but prioritize daily sun protection regardless. Remember, preventing new spots is always easier than concealing old ones. Sunscreen is the ultimate tool for achieving true, long-term even skin tone. Don't skip it just because you're applying makeup. Don't skip it just because you're applying makeup. In fact, if you're using a hydrating, slightly tinted sunscreen, it can serve as that perfect sheer base layer we discussed earlier. It provides the necessary sun defense while offering a whisper of color correction. Apply your SPF first, let it sink in for 5 minutes, and then proceed with your micro-concealing. Now let's address a psychological block many women face: the fear of highlighting pigmentation by tongue-only concealing the spots. Some viewers worry that focusing on just the dark marks will draw attention to them. This is where the initial preparation steps we covered become crucial. When the surrounding skin is well moisturized and the spot is perfectly color matched, the concealment does not draw attention. It simply normalizes the area. If you still feel you need a little more balance, try this easy trick. Focus the remaining tiny bit of concealer on areas where your skin naturally catches light. A tiny dot at the inner corner of the eye, a small tap on the center of the chin, or a slight lift above the arch of the brow. By strategically placing these small amounts of light-reflecting pigment, you draw the eye toward the center of your face and away from any remaining imperfections. This is subtle, strategic highlighting, done without shimmer or glitter. It creates a soft focus effect, ensuring that the finished look is cohesive and beautifully balanced. Think of micro-concealing as a form of personalized skin editing. You are refining the canvas, not painting a new one. This approach respects the history and texture of your skin, celebrating its natural look while addressing your concerns with precision. This approach respects the history and texture of your skin, celebrating its natural look while addressing your concerns with precision. Remember that our Savvy Seniors philosophy is all about working with your skin, not against it. We want to empower you with techniques that enhance your natural beauty, not hide it. One final, critical adjustment for mature skin involves the product texture after blending. Sometimes even the best spot concealer can look slightly flat or matte compared to the natural luminosity of mature skin. This is the difference between skin that looks perfect and skin that looks alive. If you find your concealed area looks a little dull, try pressing a tiny amount of facial oil or a very dewy balm over the spot after the setting powder. Use the warmth of your finger to tap it gently. This reintroduces a subtle, lifelike sheen that makes the covered area indistinguishable from the surrounding skin. You must be incredibly sparing with this step. We are talking about half a drop of oil across the entire concealed area. The goal is dewiness, not slipperiness. This technique is often used by professional makeup artists on film sets to ensure the skin looks authentic under harsh lights. It addresses the common pitfall of overly matte makeup looking dry or heavy on mature complexions. If you commit to these steps, the fine brush, the warmed product, the precise feathering, the minimal setting, and the final touch of dewiness, you will master the art of micro-concealing. It stops being a chore and starts becoming a simple, satisfying way to greet the day with confidence. We covered a lot of ground today, from the essential tools to the subtle art of the final blend. The key takeaway is always to use less, but target better. The key takeaway is always to use less, but target better. Now let's quickly recap the biggest mistakes we fixed today so you can test your knowledge right now. Mistake number 1, using a large applicator. Fixed by switching to a fine-tipped precision brush and working from the back of your hand. Mistake number 2, using a hydrating, slippery concealer on spots. Fixed by choosing a high-pigment, drier formula that stays put. Mistake number 3, blending by swiping the center of the spot. Fixed by adopting the feather and tap technique, focusing only on the edges with your finger. Mistake number 4, using a shade that is too light, creating a grayish cast. Fixed by matching the concealer perfectly to your surrounding skin tone. And finally, mistake number 5, forgetting to put the luminosity back in. Fixed by pressing a hint of oil or balm onto the set concealer for a true skin-like finish. By correcting these 5 common errors, you are transforming your routine from frustrating guesswork to skillful application. The power of micro-concealing is not just in the coverage it provides, but in the time it saves and the overall lightness it brings to your makeup look. It respects the philosophy that our beauty should look effortless, allowing our natural confidence to shine through. This trick truly is a game changer for anyone over 55 who wants an even complexion without the heavy mask. If you found this detailed tutorial helpful, please let us know in the comments which one of these 5 mistakes you are going to fix first. Your feedback helps us create more content that specifically addresses your needs. Your feedback helps us create more content that specifically addresses your needs. This entire method, the micro-concealing trick, is about empowering you to control the narrative of your own skin. It proves that you don't need expensive foundations or professional training to achieve a high-end, flawless look. You just need precision and patience. Don't let the simplicity of the fine brush fool you. It's the most powerful tool in your entire makeup bag. Keep it clean, treat it well, and watch how it revolutionizes the way you see your complexion. Remember that the skin you have is beautiful and deserves to be seen. We're just applying the light touch of an editor, making the final presentation seamless and vibrant. We've covered everything you need to know about the technique, the product choice, and the vital blending steps. If you want more evidence-based beauty tips and tricks tailored for savvy seniors, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. We deliver simple, actionable advice every week to boost your health, beauty, and confidence. Hit the like button if you learned a new trick today, and share this video with a friend who is also tired of heavy makeup. Thank you for watching. Go out there and shine.